Good morning, everyone.
Buckets and cash here, guys.
Good morning, everyone. We are going to start in just a few minutes. So if everybody wants to find their favorite place, we'll get started in just a few minutes.
Where's Tina? Right, maybe. Hi, Tina. How are you?
You're right here. How are you? Nice to see you. How's everything? Good.
Let me pick up one photo. Susie. Hello. Okay. We don't need to get Tina in a
Waters, and then we're done. Everybody's seating.
Claire, how are you?
Well, how are you? I'm glad you're in
Appreciate your help.
I think so. All right, we are getting ready to start, so we can lower the music down and we'll kick off the program.
Thank you.
Chairman Jones. Commissioner Jones in the house. There he is. Yay! I think he was talking to Commissioner Brown. Yeah. All right, good. I'm going to turn it off. There you go.
Thank you, and good morning, and welcome to the kickoff. We have some exciting news and changes to the transportation services here in Southern Nevada. I'm Deborah March, Mayor of the City of Henderson and Chair of the Regional Transportation Commission, and my predecessor is actually here, Larry Brown. And Larry, it's always wonderful to see you. So thank you all for coming out and supporting us, and a very special thank you to our friends here at the ballpark. We're just so excited to be sharing this day with you at the Las Vegas ballpark. Yes. What a great way to celebrate. I'd also like to thank our partners and sponsors who've made this day possible, including MV Transportation, Keolis Transit, and Vector Media. And I want to recognize those who are joining me here today. First, our Governor of the state of Nevada, Steve Sisolak. And from our federal delegation, Congresswoman Dina Titus and Congresswoman Susie Lee. And my colleagues from the RTC board, Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman and Clark County Commissioner Justin Jones. And from our local sports teams, Dan Ventrell, who's the president of the Las Vegas Raiders, Jim Frivola with the Vegas Golden Knights, and of course Don Logan with the Las Vegas Aviators, and we're so thrilled to be here today. Thank you for joining us and helping us to make today's event happen. I think everyone here can appreciate the impact that COVID-19 has had on our community, and public transportation was no exception. But despite all of the challenges brought on by the pandemic, RTC still provided more than 56 million transit trips last year. 56 million, that's significant. Well, we already knew that for so many in our community, transit is the lifeline to work, to food, to medical, and to family. But the challenges of this last year and a half and the consistent need for transportation drove home even more the essential nature of public transportation. So today we're thrilled to celebrate the services that we're bringing back and adding to our community thanks to federal stimulus funding. Not only are we bringing back transit to pre-pandemic levels, we're adding new routes and an on-demand micro-transit service and increasing the frequencies throughout our community. That federal stimulus funding was made possible in part by our very own delegation of members here from the state of Nevada, and we appreciate it. Their dedication and commitment to our community is what made it possible for us to be here today. We're also here today because of Governor Steve Sisolak and his team. They've worked nonstop to fight this pandemic and to help keep our community healthy and safe. Governor Sisolak is currently serving his first term of office and is an impassioned advocate for improving education, economic diversification, and quality and affordable health care for all Nevadans. Prior to being elected governor, he served for a decade on the Nevada System of Higher Education Board of Regents and as chair of the Clark County Commission. It's truly an honor to have him here with us today, and I invite him up to say a few words. Governor.
Thank you, Deborah. I really appreciate this. Wonderful to see so many familiar faces here with us today. And Donnie Logan, thanks for having us in your house. And my colleague Larry Brown, it's always a pleasure to see you here, whether it was with Aviators or the work you did with RTC, and my colleague commissioners here, and certainly our sports teams. And before I get into my remarks, I want to say something about our vaccine effort that we're doing here, because I use every public speaking engagement I have to say something. Vaccines are safe, they're effective, they're free, and they work, ladies and gentlemen. There is no doubt about that. It is so important to me that families can go to watch an Aviators game, or they can go to watch the Las Vegas Raiders or the Vegas Golden Knights. I got you, Chance, I got you, If you want to see Chance in person, we've got to be able to get into the T-Mobile to see those games. The only way we're going to be able to do that is to vaccinate more people. And all three of these organizations, all of the organizations, our sports teams in the Valley, have gone a long way towards helping us with our vaccination efforts. We sincerely appreciate that. We've got our kids are going back to school in just a couple days. I know they're not thrilled about that. I've heard about that from a lot of kids, that they felt they got a short summer this year. But it's important that we keep them in the classrooms. And vaccination is a way to do that. But now, Deborah, I apologize for kind of getting off script here. I'm getting on, now I'll get on to my real stuff. I want to thank Deborah March for inviting me here and for her contributions, her continued leadership in the city of Henderson. Good morning. I can't tell you how grateful I am to be with you. You can tell that's a prepared remark. Can't you? I mean, come on.
Thank you, Steve.
Come on, sorry. When I was first elected governor 2.5 years ago, I never could have imagined the challenges I'd be facing 2.5 years later with COVID-19. I could never have imagined that we would be dealing with a pandemic of this magnitude, having just lost 6,000 Nevadan lives this past week. There's still, we're making progress on COVID, and but for the Delta variant coming in, we would be way ahead of the curve. There's still much work to be done on behalf of the state of Nevada since this pandemic continues to burn through our communities. I'm thankful for the unwavering commitment and support from our federal delegation led by Congresswoman Titus and Congresswoman Lee. We really appreciate the work that they're doing in Washington Resources, not just providing us with the stimulus funds, which they have done in an incredible manner, and not just for the transportation efforts that they've made on all our behalf, but for all the work that they've done on behalf of our citizens and our residents, the 3 million people that call Nevada home. These funds that we have gotten have ensured that Nevada would have the resources necessary to fight this pandemic, but also provide us an opportunity to restore and enhance critical services like transit that has been lost during this pandemic. We take it for granted, the people that use transit sometimes, that bus is always going to be there, and it is being put in jeopardy, and we are thankful for the federal help and resources that we've got to make sure we can continue that moving forward. As we move forward as a state, I'm especially pleased to see RTC reinvesting their stimulus dollars into the community responsibly. And I say reinvesting, I don't say spending, because they are reinvesting it in the community, and we'll have an ongoing return on that investment. They're playing an important role in our efforts to become more sustainable and combat climate change through clean energy renewal. And if you look outside this morning, you can see the devastation that the smoke we're getting from the California wildfires is causing. I was up in Douglas County 2 weeks ago with Governor Newsom, and we were talking about the fire that came across the border. I've never seen an entire mountainside burned to the ground. We had houses that were just burned flat to the concrete slab that was put down there. This is real, folks. The fire that raged up north is real, and they continue to fight that in California, and we wish them all the best, and we're doing everything we can to help them. That's why I was proud to sign AB 413 during the 2021 legislative session, which convenes a work group led by NDOT, including the RTC, to find ways to reduce emissions, secure long-term funding source for transportation, and improve mobility throughout the state of Nevada, because that is what our future needs, folks. I look forward to reviewing those findings of the working group and building on our efforts of all modes of transportation across the state in years to come. Once again, thank you all for coming, for inviting me here today, for coming, allowing me to speak to you. We have a great lineup of speakers, and here with us at the ballpark this morning, and a lot of variety of activities. I've seen some nice painted tattoos on some of the kids, and one of those balloon swords look awful nice too. So thank you for being here. I hope everybody has a great time, and I appreciate the opportunity. Deborah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor. We appreciate your leadership, and we know these have been some challenging year and a half in our state and in our communities, and we appreciate your commitment to making sure that Nevada stays strong. And thank you very much. I'm so pleased to introduce our next speaker, who has served Southern Nevada since 1988, first as a Nevada state legislator, and today serving her 6th term in the U.S. House of Representatives. She's a champion for quality education, transportation safety, renewable energy development, and a strong advocate on behalf of Nevada's children, seniors, and persons with disability. And as a member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, she's a tireless leader on transportation. Please join me in welcoming Congresswoman Dina Tiger.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor, and thank you not only for what you do in Henderson, but what you do as chair of the RTC. As a member of the Transportation Committee, I rely very much on you for advice and wise counsel and good information, and y'all do a terrific job, and today is just one more example. I'd like to say, too, just as a point of personal privilege, what an honor it is to be part of the team with Governor Sisolak. Events like this show you how much that we are working together. Susie and I at the federal level, working with the governor, with the mayor, the county commissioners. It is an all-team effort. But I can say from experience, and you could tell I've had a lot of that, but also from the heart, we have never had a governor who cares as much about bringing things back for all Nevadans, not just for a few. And so we do owe the governor a debt of gratitude. So thank you. I just want to share just a few statistics with you, because the money that we got at the federal level has been put to such good use by RTC. This is a fun event, even though it's not in District 1. I wish it were, but it's okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that at you. Listen to these numbers. With the federal funding, public transportation, and that is so important, especially in District 1, where people have to use public transportation, going to school, going to UNLV, going to the grocery store, to the doctor's office, to work. It's an essential part of their life. But public transportation was extended to 185,000 additional residents here in Southern Nevada. That included 21,000 residents currently living at the poverty level, 18,000 seniors, and 13,000 residents with disabilities. That's commendable. Those are the people who really need those services, and I thank you for doing it. But you know, it's not just about everyday life. It's also about the excitement of going to this fabulous ballpark or going to see the Raiders. Now there's a new arrangement with RTC. Going to see the Knights, the Vikings, and the Golden Knights and the Raiders, whoever else is playing. Our aces, let's not forget our aces. So it's a wonderful service. We thank you, RTC, for doing it, and you can count on my always being a good partner and friend in Washington. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman, and we appreciate your leadership and especially your attention to detail around transportation. I know we're very fortunate to have the beginnings of the I-11, the full system, and certainly it began here in Southern Nevada and it was under your leadership, so thank you very much. Our next speaker represents Nevada's 3rd District in the House of Representatives, where she's an advocate for health care, veterans, education, and the environment. Prior to joining the House, she spent her entire career working to improve Nevada's public education system. Please join me in welcoming Congresswoman Susie Lee.
Thank you, Mayor March. Thank you for your leadership with the RTC and, of course, the City of Henderson in Congressional District 3. And welcome, everyone, to Congressional District 3. Dina, my colleague, usually has the honor of saying that because so many events are in her district down on the Strip. But it's truly an honor to be here, Don. At Aviator Nation, last time I was here, I threw a pitch out, got it over the plate, very happy about that. But listen, as Congresswoman Titus and I will tell you, DC isn't always the easiest place to get something done. And I will say that I'm so proud of the delegation that we worked with Congresswoman Titus, Representative Horsford, our senators, Catherine Cortez Masto, and Jackie Rosen. When this pandemic came upon us, we all knew collectively just at how at risk our community was. And we stood up and advocated to make sure that we got the funding we needed here. But that was just one part of the equation. The next part of the equation is making sure you have the incredible leadership at our state level with the governor and his team. And then, of course, getting it down to our local level with our county commissioner, our mayor, and then, of course, the incredible Nevada Department of Transportation and the RTC, which really is an example of top-notch transportation authority across this country. So MJ and Erica and your entire team, thank you for all that you've done. But I will tell you that when we look around at what's about to happen tomorrow, it's really about meaningful benefits for those who need it most. For example, the expanded services as part of tomorrow's unveiling will provide accessibility to 43 child care facilities, 6 grocery stores, as well as 23,000 employment opportunities. Not to mention we have our UNLV cheerleaders here, providing access to education, especially to Nevada State College, to College of Southern Nevada, and UNLV, which is so important as we rebuild our economy. But what this means is that working parents can get their kids to childcare more quickly and conveniently, or food is easier to access, and that our residents can check that transportation off the list of barriers to employment. But also, let's not forget the fun part, which is having access to our incredible sports team. We got to mention the Aces, our women's basketball team, of course our Knights, the Raiders, and Aviators, which is so exciting. But we know that our work is not far from done, and over the past few weeks, the White House and a team of bipartisan legislators have been negotiating on a package, a once-in-a-generation investment in transportation and infrastructure. As a member of the House Problem Solvers Caucus, I was proud to help lead these discussions that paved the road for this agreement that will provide additional funding to transit and roadways in Nevada. And while this bill is still being negotiated, I think they're going to vote on it today. They've been saying that for a couple days. I look forward to working with Congresswoman Titus, local officials, and the rest of our delegation to ensure that it passes the House, gets to President Biden's desk, and most importantly, we get the funding into Nevada to expand transportation and transit. We have the opportunity right now to show this country that it is still possible to work together for the betterment of our communities. To work through collaboration to make sure that we can create thousands of good paying jobs for Nevadans and ensure that future investments can withstand the effects of climate change. So I thank you all for being here, excited about what's about to come. And with that, I will turn it back to Deborah March.
Thank you. Thank you, Congresswoman, and we're grateful for your hard work and leadership in our district. And being from Henderson, I know you represent us in Henderson, and we're very grateful. And just want to call out the $40 million grant that the City of Henderson and RTC recently received to do some improvements along the Boulder Highway that'll activate that area and really bring it alive. And thank you for calling out these wonderful teams that are part of our community. And I also want to call out the Vegas Lights and the soccer team that serves our community as well. We're so blessed, you know, for a community that really years ago had no teams. Look at the teams that we have, and they're all outstanding. So thank you very much. Our next speaker represents District F on the Clark County Board of Commissioners. He's an avid cyclist, family man, and advocate for community issues, including making transit more accessible, protections for homeowners facing foreclosure, marriage equality, and conservation in the Red Rock Canyon area. Prior to joining the County Commission, he served in the Nevada Legislature from 2012 to 2014. Please help me welcome our Vice Chairman of the RTC Board of Commissioners, Justin Jones.
Thank you, Mayor, and welcome all to District F, the home of the Las Vegas Ballpark right here and City National Arena just around the corner here. I want to thank the ballpark and our aviators for hosting us today. I also want, as the governor talked about, all of our teams have been so great in partnering with us on vaccinations, and we were able to do a great vaccination event here for our Little Leaguers and their families a couple of months ago. I want to thank the leaders and staff of the RTC for taking federal stimulus funding and putting it to work for our community. We heard from tens of thousands of community members about what was important to them for transportation. And thanks to federal funding, we are beginning to make those things a reality. My district includes one of the fastest growing areas in our valley, with growth often outpacing the resources and the infrastructure needs. And transit, unfortunately, has been sorely lacking over the last decade. That's why I'm so excited for the service expansion, which brings a brand new route that will run down Cactus all the way into Boulder City. Plus routes on Durango, Rainbow, Jones, and Decatur are all being extended to Blue Diamond. And a brand new microtransit service, RTC On Demand, will expand transit service even further into the Southwest Valley, including Mountain's Edge and Southern Highlands. And I want to get a shout out to our Desert Diamonds baseball complex, just another one of our amazing facilities here in the Southwest. I'm thrilled that my constituents will be able to access these resources and support vibrant growth in our neighborhoods. If you haven't tried transit already, now is the time. So many new and improved options are at your fingertips, starting tomorrow. As an added bonus, you can do your part and reduce your carbon footprint. And I think I would be doing a disservice to our public transit system if I didn't also make note of the care that is being taken to keep passengers safe and healthy. Even as we return to pre-pandemic levels of service, we will continue to implement health and safety guidelines to maximize customer comfort and ensure our riders feel safe. Equity and accessibility are core values for the RTC, and I share those values. I firmly believe that everyone deserves a convenient and economical transportation option to access essential services and job opportunities. As we look ahead, the role that public transportation plays in Las Vegas will be one of strength and stability. Thank you again for having me here today, and I look forward to see you on board.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Jones. It's a privilege serving with you on the RTC board, and we love your devotion to our community. So thank you. Our next speaker is our own City of Las Vegas Mayor, Carolyn Goodman. And those of you who know her know that she needs no introduction, but I'm going to give her one. I've had the good fortune to serve with her with the Conference of Mayors, and I can tell you she's known nationwide, and we appreciate your leadership. For more than a decade, Mayor Goodman has led the city of Las Vegas, where she has worked to spur the growth of small businesses, to establish the vibrancy of downtown and the arts district, and to foster collaboration amongst the nonprofit social service agencies in Southern Nevada. Before being elected mayor, Mayor Goodman founded the Meadows School, where she worked for nearly 30 years. Welcome, Mayor Goodman.
Are you giving me this so I can walk around to everybody? And with the governor's permission, take off my mask? No. Okay. I'm back. There we are. So it's working. Anyway, it's an honor to be here, Mayor March. Thank you. You're a dear friend. Did I turn it off? Oscar D. Trill, that I've been silent. Anyway, after safety and health. Safety and health. Moving people around so they can get to work, get to places they need to be, and take care of their families. However we help with mobility is singularly so important. So I want to say good morning to you all. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I thank you for the kind words, Mayor March, and the excitement of having been part of this community for so many years, watching the changes and the growth and the long-awaited sports teams that we have been working to bring here for over 25 years. It's a marvelous gathering today, and apart from my mayoral duties, serving on the Board of Commissioners for the RTC has been so rewarding, and having a front row seat as we work to increase that very access to transportation and improve mobility for all of our residents here, wherever they may live in our community. In addition to my service on the RTC as a board member, I also am fortunate enough to have been on the board of directors for the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authorities for a decade. And we know how vital and efficient transportation is to the very heartbeat for the tens of millions of people, not only those who live here, but for our many visitors upon whom we depend to have the wonderful lifestyle we live and the economy that we've enjoyed all these years. You've already heard and will continue to hear about the innovative transit announcement the RTC is implementing as part of their service changes, but I'd also like to highlight some particularly notable improvements. For example, the RTC bus route on Charleston Boulevard, which runs through the very heart of the city, has been redesigned to reduce travel time by 25%. The extended paratransit service will improve transportation equity and provide connectivity to all that Las Vegas has to offer to those who really have never or do not have the luxury of independent or private ability to drive themselves around. In addition, the RTC is making other improvements to the transit system, such as increasing frequency and restoring weekend service on certain routes that will greatly benefit Las Vegans as we get back to some degree of normalcy. None of this would have been possible without the support from our federal team and the delegation. And certainly I know that you join me and have already done so for Congresswoman Titus, dear friend, long servant, and to Congresswoman Susie Lee, who's really picked up the gauntlet and moved so many issues for us. So again, these changes taking effect tomorrow, it is truly an exciting time for our region and the RTC. And I must add, it has been wonderful under Larry Brown. Where are you? Where are you? Hiring, okay, there he is. Man of the parks. I would never recognize you. You're totally incognito. Thank you, Governor, for covering them all up. But I must say, Larry Brown, you've done so much over the years to give us sports, give us everything that we enjoy in the parks. Your leadership has been tremendous. and was for so long at the RTC. But I must tell you, you do have to be so very proud of Mayor Deborah March and how she has continued on with your visions, your dreams, your loyalty and stick-to-itiveness. But my hat's off to you as from everybody else, and we just think the world of you, former Commissioner Larry Brown. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Mayor March. I just want to assure you all, no matter what, life is good in Las Vegas. Life will continue to be good in Las Vegas. We all need to continue to be the family we are, doing the best to keep all of us safe and healthy. So please do get your vaccinations if you haven't, unless there's a reason why you can't. And know you not only owe it to yourself, but you owe it to every other person who chooses to visit here, come here to work, invest with us. And we are so lucky to live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Team RTC, as I look at you, thank you. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman, for your leadership and collaboration across the community. You've always been a wonderful partner. Last week, you may have seen that the RTC announced its Game Day Express service for the Raiders home games. We're so excited to get this service kicked off for the upcoming season. Here today to talk a little bit more about the initiative is Dan Ventrell, President of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome, Dan.
Good morning. I'm Dan Ventrelli. I'm the president of the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a privilege to be here with this impressive lineup of elected officials and leaders from local sports organizations. I want to begin by, of course, thanking the Aviators and the Las Vegas Ballpark for hosting us, but also by echoing the governor's sentiment regarding vaccinations. We've had a mandatory vaccination policy among our business and football staff at the Raiders for months. Our partners at Allegiant Stadium and Levy and ASM have mirrored that policy, and we're committed to making that a safe place for people to go and enjoy a football game. This week alone, 3 of our players volunteered to do PSAs supporting vaccine efforts, so the Raiders are committed to being a leader in this effort. So look, we're excited this year to welcome fans for the first time from this community and across the world to Allegiant Stadium. We can't wait to share the excitement of our game day experience and Raiders football with all of you and with this community that we love. We also know that helping our fans get to and from the stadium is incredibly important. And that's why we were excited to announce our Game Day Express service this week in partnership with the RTC. This service will get local fans to and from the game for only $2 each way. So $4 round trip from 5 convenient locations throughout the valley. It's a reliable, safe, and stress-free way to go to and from the stadium. And we're confident that many of our fans will take advantage of it. I also want to applaud the RTC for its Deuce Bus service, the double-decker buses that go up and down the strip 24/7. With a stop near the Mandalay Bay, it's a convenient way for fans to hop off the bus, walk over the Hacienda Bridge, and be directly inside the stadium as quickly as possible. Lastly, I want to thank our federal delegation for securing the critical funding to expand transportation options throughout the valley. We know it's incredibly important for everyone to be able to access reliable and affordable transportation, and we appreciate the effort. The Raiders are proud partners of RTC, and we're even prouder to represent this great city. Thanks for having us here today, and we look forward to seeing all of you at Allegiant Stadium very soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you for being a part of the RTC family. And we look forward to the preseason game that's kicking off, I believe, in 1 week. So we're very excited about that. And RTC is transit ready. Our next speaker has been a friend of the RTC since 2017 and knows firsthand the value of transit. Please join me in welcoming Jim Frivola, Senior Vice President and Chief Sales Officer for the Vegas Golden Knights. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Team Pfizer 2.0, Governor. Appreciate all your efforts there. Good morning, and thanks, Don, for having us here at the ballpark and the Aviators Just a great experience here, so always appreciate getting the chance to come over to the fine ballpark over here. The Golden Knights, as you know, are proud neighbors, City National right across the street. We appreciate everything the ballpark does, especially during our off season, which is your primary season, so it's a great opportunity to always be here. On behalf of the Golden Knights, I'd like to express our appreciation as well to the federal delegation for helping secure the funding for the RTC. The mayor mentioned I've been involved in this project since 2017, working with MJ and the team at the RTC and helping establish the Golden Knights Express. I've been a passenger. My family's been a passenger. They've taken the VGK Express to the games many times over the last 4 years. And it's such a valuable service to the community. In many ways, a reliable and convenient transportation source. And again, just proud to be able to have been a passenger firsthand and have my family drive it to and from the games for many, many years. I'd like to also express the sentiments of Dan Vantrelli just about that value. It's cheap, it's affordable, it's safe, it's convenient, and it's something that this community needs to take more advantage of, not only for the Golden Knights games, but for all sporting events and for all needs across the valley. So, Dan, you guys are really going to enjoy it. It's going to be fantastic. As you know, we appreciate this partnership. It's convenient, it's safe, and the Golden Knights would be proud to be part of this city. I've been here for 8 years, and I can say our sporting community has never been bigger and prouder, and you could see it represented here today. So thank you all for being here, and I appreciate you enjoyed having me join this party.
Thank you very much, Jim, and it's such a pleasure to have you here today. And of course, the Vegas Golden Knights have been a long-time transit partner with the RTC, and we look forward to seeing a full season in the Fortress coming up. Huh? Wonderful. Next, I'm so pleased to be able to introduce our event host and president and CEO of the Las Vegas Aviators, Don Logan. Don?
I get to be the cleanup hitter, and rather than welcome you, I have to thank you all for coming today. Our relationship with the RTC goes back many years to our time at Cashman Field. One of the things we talk about is fans certainly getting access to games, but employees getting to the games. If you look at the bus transfer station out here, about 4 o'clock every night, it's all full of bicycles. There's a lot of our people from all over the valley that take the transit system to come here to work on a daily basis, and without that, they wouldn't be able to work. So that's besides the fans, what it does for employees is phenomenal. And you know, we see the profound impact that it has on us because the transfer station's right outside here. And you know, Jim, I think you see that. You see kids getting off, lugging those big old hockey bags, heading over to City National. It really is special to see that. And from a sports perspective, obviously, we've got our Knights, we've got the Raiders, we got the Lights, we got the Aces, we have our Rebels. It's really important for all of us to have fans and employees get to the ballpark safely, on time, and get home. I told Melissa I wasn't going to try to crack any jokes, but one of the big things we do in sports is adult beverages are a big part of our revenue source. And taking the bus from the ballpark or from the facility back home isn't a bad idea. So you got to think about it from that perspective too. Congresswoman Titus, Congresswoman Lee, Governor Sisolak is Steve's dear friend for many years. Mayor March, Justin, Mayor Goodman, Carolyn's a dear friend. We go back to the Meadows days. Baseball field out there. She's been a great leader for us in Las Vegas. Again, all of you, welcome. Thank you for coming, and this place is yours. Anytime you need to use this, please come on out. Take care.
I'm not done yet. Thank you all, and thank you, Don. I can't say thank you enough. This is such a beautiful facility, and the fact that you opened it up for us to enjoy, we really do appreciate that, especially since you're in the middle of a 12-game homestand, as I understand. So thank you very much. Go Aviators, huh? But we couldn't do this without the support of our federal delegation, our partners across the community, and the supporters, and each and every one of you in the community. And of course, our community is what drives us to continually grow and to make improvements in the services that we do provide you. So thank you to each and every one of you for your support. I'd now like to invite our speakers, mascots, cheerleaders to the front for a group photo, and invite everyone to join us for lunch and grab some photos. Check out our brand new beautiful vehicles that are parked out front, and don't forget to pick up a 3-day pass to try transit. We really want you to try transit. And hey, get vaccinated, please, get vaccinated, huh?